Managing cloud migrations such as Office 365 or Azure migrations comes with lots of uncertainty right off the bat. That being said, the majority of your project can be run through a waterfall methodology, but you want to make sure that you are agile and that you include agile into your project plan so that it is a hybrid. You would like to make sure that it is waterfall in the sense that you can plan your go live phases like Microsoft Teams going live or Yammer going live or Skype going live on certain dates, but include those agile sprints so that you can quickly respond to changes that needs to be done in the infrastructure. Your cloud migration project will not be a success if you do not plan it well. Your project will have multiple phases, but upfront, I like to do a lot of the cleanup tasks. Some of the cleanup tasks you have to include in your project is Active Directory cleanup, your distribution group cleanup, as well as your global address list cleanup. Make sure that those naming conventions are cleaned up and appropriate before you start doing the migration, because that's how they are going to show up in the cloud. Then I have spoken many times before, AD Connect. Especially in Office 365 scenarios, you want to make sure that you have a phase in your project that will take care of configuring AD Connect, knowing how it needs to be configured, as well as knowing which OUs have to be selected in order to synchronize. Then you're also going to have phases for all the services within the Microsoft O365 suite. For instance, a Yammer go live, a Teams go live, a OneDrive go live. Those are additional phases that you would like to incorporate in your project plan. Then, of course, you also are going to need a phase for mailbox migration, which is going to be one of the largest components of your Office 365 migration. And don't forget about communications and adoption planning, so that you have a training plan that needs to be followed, as well as a campaign that's been driven to your end users to drive adoption. At the end of the project, you need decommissioning tasks to decommissioning all your existing mail servers, as well as file servers that might be storing files, which now you have moved over to the cloud. Do not skimp on Active Directory cleanup and mailbox cleanup. It will absolutely save you time if you do that work up front. Now, even though we have categories which I just mentioned that you could follow as a waterfall plan, you have to be agile enough to create sprints within that waterfall plan so that you can be agile to change and may apply your changes within the project within a week or two of an agile sprint. Let's talk about stand-up meetings. Stand-up meetings, also known as checkpoints, are meetings that are run once a day for a fixed time box where you meet with your team. Make sure that you run stand-up meetings every single day and do not skip a day. It is not only for the project manager to hear the status of the team and where they are, but most importantly, it is for team members to hear from each other of impediments that other team members might be running into that could affect the work that they are being asked to do. As a project manager, it serves as the purpose for you to hear whether the tasks has been completed, whether there's progress on tasks, and as a PM for you to hear whether some of your members might need help or an additional resource to move faster or complete a milestone at the time it should be done. There's also a component about keeping your team accountable in your stand-up meetings, a point that helps your team be driven and know that someone is making sure that tasks are getting done. Let's talk about people-centric management. In our previous lesson, we spoke about servant leadership, but I do want to spend some more time on it because it is pivotal to whether your team is going to be driven or not. Manage my teams from the point of view of making sure that I remove impediments on their behalf so that they can be successful. Sometimes it means I have to introduce a team member to additional resource that can support them. In other occasions, it could mean me introducing training to a SME so that they can move faster than they should. At the end of the day, my job is removing barriers. And in an agile space, removing barriers is key to the success of the project. One of my favorite authors is Simon Sinek, and he's written a book called Leaders Eat Last. So as a project manager, do yourself a favor, pick up a copy and read it. It's a small plug here, but I do enjoy what he has written, and there's some great value into a view of servant leadership in that book of Simon Sinek. So what does servant leadership have to do with Office 365? The truth is absolutely everything. It has to do with how we manage people and how we manage people to be successful. In Agile project management, we often take the approach of being very centric to people, and we take management from the point of view of a servant leader. The reason why we do this is because that's how we get success, by building a collaborative team to move quickly to changes as changes occur within the project. Log issues and manage risks. In your cloud migration project, you will have no shortage of issues because you're working with a complicated solution which is guaranteed to bring up issues that needs resolution. It is crucial for you to log every single issue and risk that comes up in your project. When you meet with your team, make sure that you go over your issues and risks every day to make sure that someone of your team are working on one of them to move it forward. If you do not log your issues and risks, for sure you're going to run into some challenges. Being agile is critical to the success of your project because agility has to do with how we manage our people on a project. Technology projects are complex because we manage highly skilled people performing highly complex tasks. Knowing how to manage those people are critical to the success of your cloud migration project.